this week coming after the first road trip, and what's been the schedule like, and probably what's your weekly plans for this week?
I mean, the schedule for the first time we've gone through it on that West Coast journey. Guys got in late last night, and the first 11 starting group have had an extra day to get over the journey. And as you can see, the lads that were here and the lads that were on the bench are doing some extra work. It creates a shorter week, of course, because we played on a Sunday and then we'll play on a Saturday anyway. So, we're in till we leave on Friday to go to Toronto. But these are all of the things that the group, I'm sure, over the years that a lot of them have been in the league, have already experienced this. It's no different. And we have to get ourselves into a bit of a groove and understand what that is all about for the team.
First two games, much of the preseason and going into those first two games is about having solidity at the back and then building out of the back when you do have that possession. And based off of the two results and how those games transpired, is there a little bit of a switch in priority, perhaps maybe a priority in how things are forming in the attack and in front of goal for this weekend going forward?
Yeah, listen, it goes without saying that the frustration after the weekend, and as I would say, a similar type of mindset leaving the Atlanta game. I think whenever you come away from a game and you can internally look inside and say, you know what, we deserve something out of that. And I'm not putting on the rose-coloured glasses. I'm looking at it in a calculated fashion. I watched the game again on the way home, and I'll be surprised if anyone thinks that we didn't deserve to get something out of the game. The challenge, I think, for a lot of groups, not just brand new groups, which we are, of course, is to find the right balance, connection, and then, of course, confidence in that final third. And it's not just about efforts at goal and hitting the target. It's, are we making the right choice? Was that the right type of quality and decision in the final third? Because there were many moments outside of the chances that we had that we squandered. We turned down. There were times where we got into good wide areas, and an early cross might well have been the right choice. We come back out. We get into a good position, and the delivery's not quite where you would expect it to be. The delivery is a good delivery, and the movement in the penalty area is not where it should be at. So there are many things that we need to continue to work on, and to get us into a more effective goal-scoring world. But in and amongst all of that, I still felt as though there were enough opportunities and sights of goal for us to have converted. And our conversion rate at the moment is not where it should be. And if I look at how teams have really put us to the sword with very, very few opportunities, then you could probably imagine my frustration.
We've talked in previous seasons about just how chemistry in the final third is usually one of the last things to develop. Seeing how you guys played against a really good Atlanta side and a really good Portland side, do you feel comfortable with where their team is now, and just that it'll take time for that final piece to fall into place?
If you'd have shown me a picture, a snapshot of how the team, in terms of their construction as a shape, their appreciation of possession and management of the game, our ability to build out, the amount of time that we have with the ball, the positions that we're getting ourselves in, and some of the combination play to play round pressure and achieve good opportunities, I'd have been absolutely delighted. I'd have said that's almost at a point that I couldn't really be thinking about with a brand new group. So to that degree, for 2/3 of the field, I think we're in a very good place. Defensively, we look sound. We're repressing well. We've got a good shape and understanding when we lose the ball. Some of the choices of when and where to press have been excellent. The output from the players has been spot on. I can't complain about any of that. the only thing that I think we will all be disappointed and frustrated about is how we've gone about our business, and could we have been more clinical in that final third? And the answer to that is definitely yes. And in 2 games against 2 good sides in 2 very different environments, we've fallen foul of other teams that have been the complete opposite to us. In the final third they've been absolutely clinical, and at this level, unfortunately, that's the world we're living in now.
A little bit late on this story, admittedly, but I wondered how you and the team have responded to what David and Daniel went through with their tornado situation, and how they are moving forward at this point.
But as you can well imagine, there's been mentally a load that the guys have had to deal with, and I'm not just talking about David, Cam and Daniel, who have been the most disrupted in all of this, but I think everyone has felt the pain and anguish that a lot of families are going through. I read a story yesterday that was, it was heartbreaking, to listen to the guy that had lost his 4-year-old daughter that he was hanging on to. Absolutely brutal. But I think the club has done a good job of supporting a lot of those people, and trying to do their very utmost to lend a hand and just offer what they can to a very, very difficult situation. As far as the players go, you saw David start the game at the weekend, and I'm almost certain the impact of the week had some sort of influence on the way that he felt. I mean, he's dealing with his own issues with a wife that's pregnant, who's now looking for a new abode. And Daniel entered into the game, and Daniel's in a slightly different position in terms of his relationship and family, but nevertheless, it's still a very difficult scenario for them 2 lads to deal with, but they've done a fantastic job.
Are they starting to get a little bit more settled in their new places now, do you feel like?
I believe so. I mean, they're still in temporary accommodation. Both of those guys are looking for something more permanent. I'm unsure as to whether or not the building that they both were in has been condemned or not. I don't know the answer to that. It has been condemned, so they have to find somewhere to move into. But I do know, part of the process of a brand new organisation, a big piece of the puzzle was to have an individual in place that really looks after that relocation process for all of the players, and Aaron's done a fantastic job of supporting these 2 guys and looking around for the next steps for them.
For this week, going into the game on Saturday, you look at day by day the training. Does anything in the attacking third, does that take precedent over maybe some other things that you would be doing in each training session?
Yeah, definitely. It would certainly be remiss of me to move in different directions. I think, yes, there's work to be done. We're picking up small percentages, but in reality those small percentages can be vital to us in such tight games, especially in the way that we've constructed and dealt with 2/3 of the field. So we need to pick up as much development in that world as we can. But I certainly have to start considering guys like Daniel Ríos and other attacking players that have been good for us in the past, who are very capable, and that's not to cast aside or dismiss the guys that have been in there, but at this point in time it's making sure that not only are we doing enough to improve, but we've got the right combinations. And it'll be something that I'll talk to the staff about across the course of this week. I can't stress enough that I've been absolutely delighted with the way that the players have gone about their work daily, and certainly with the output and the way that they've projected themselves in the games that we've had so far. We live in a world where we have to add points to the board, whoever we are. We certainly deserve to have points on the board, but at this point we have none. So we have to find a way to put that right.
Have you considered playing with two central strikers, whether to start the match or later in the match if you're in a similar situation?
Of course, those you saw two strikers on the field at the end of the Atlanta game. Would we ever end up in a world where we're in a slightly different shape to have two forwards on the field? For sure. My job, though, is to make sure that what we're doing well continues, and what we need to improve on is affected in the right way. Because if I tear the page up and say, okay, we're not doing that anymore, we're going in this direction, and I've seen that on many occasions. I've done it myself, and I've seen it with other teams. You then find that there's different problems, and now how do you combine that? At the moment, we have a really strong foundation, and we've got to find our way to being more ruthless and creative in that final third. And as I've said, there's a couple of different ways of going about that, and we'll certainly be working towards that this week.
We also have Tim Sullivan for Club and Country. Tim, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one. Gary, you talked about this a little bit, of course, in this press conference, but does the fact that kind of you feel like you guys are almost deserving a point and the advanced numbers do tend to back you guys up, does that give you encouragement that it'll just kind of click at some point? Or is it something that you feel like, there needs to be an active, action towards fixing some of that stuff?
Well, I do honestly think that over a period of time, you find that the understanding and the rapport within the group can give you a different result. And when I say result, I mean in terms of goal scoring opportunities and creation, because the players feel more confident and comfortable around one another. However, I certainly won't leave that to chance. And to your point, there needs to be some active progress and work going on with that attacking group to make sure that we're continually trying to enhance their productivity, but also think about what the combinations could look like at the weekend if they need to be different. I'm in that world at the moment where I have to consider a lot of different eventualities. As I've just said to Drake, I don't want to tear the page up and say, well, all of this has been going wrong, because that would be silly of me, given the way that we've played, which is, which has been a real pleasing aspect of our early schedule. We've played some very, very good stuff. We look like a team, honestly, that has been together longer than we have, but we still don't have any points. So how do we find our way through to some points?
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Coach.
Thank Welcome. Cheers.
So coming onto the field, you mentioned about your agenda and things that you wanted to prioritize when coming on the field and trying to make a difference. When you take a look at what actually happened in the match, was there something particular that you said, oh, that was my chance, or something that you really wish you could have taken advantage of? Yeah.
No, I think what I did is exactly what my mind is focused on before the game and when I'm in the bench. So yeah, I would step inside, trying to help the most I could to the team.
Do you wish that perhaps maybe in the future, especially in this upcoming week, playing with two strikers, maybe you and Dominique, or you and another striker up front to maybe help the attacking third and create some goals?
Yeah, I mean, that's not my decision. That's part of the coach's decision. So I will be ready if we change the formation. But as right now, I think we're the same. We're not changing. So let's see what happens with the week.
It feels like the team has been, obviously really defensively solid, and then play in the midfield has been good. Do you feel like just that attacking, that final product in the final third, do you think that's just going to come with time, and as you guys develop chemistry, we'll see more end product?
Yeah, obviously attacking is the most, I can say, hard part of the game. But yeah, if we have more time to, we already have time to adapt. So I trust, and I'm sure we will develop better the next games and find the goals.
Is it maybe frustrating to you or perhaps motivating to you to know that, especially in that final 6 or 7 minutes, you guys were quite dominant in that final third, and at least starting creating some chances? Will those eventually come and turn into goals, do you think, based off of your experience?
Yeah, it's motivated. Try to push the team high, more likely when we are losing. So yeah, that's a part of a striker duty,
Tanya, I wonder if you could talk, I'm sorry if you already talked about this last week, but a little bit about the experience you went through in the tornado and just what it was like going through that at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard moment for me to leave that. It was, I mean, it happens. I can't say too much. There were more people here that die and lose their homes and everything, so I'm just grateful that it wasn't that bad, but motivate all the people to help the ones that most need it.
What was it like for you personally? Did it hit your building, your room, anything?
Yeah, I mean, it hit the side of the building, like from the center to the side, and yeah, I was standing on the window when I watched everything, like tornado coming and everything, and just run to the living room and then to the door, and then where the tornado started to get hard, and I tried to close the door, but obviously I couldn't. Like my window was broke and everything. I just went to the hall and went to my knees and wait until it goes.
What were you thinking? Had you? I don't imagine you'd ever been through an experience like that before.
Yeah, 2 years ago I lived the earthquake in Mexico. I was literally on the city where it starts, so it was pretty bad. I was showering in the locker room when it happened 2 years ago. So yeah, the city suffers a lot, the same as here. But yeah, it's the second time I live this.
Wow. How hard is it to kind of put that to the side and concentrate on soccer as well? Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I try. It's not easy to stay focused on soccer, but as I say the other day, I love soccer. It's on my mind 24/7. So yeah, I try as hard as I can to stay focused on this.
You've got a new place now, I understand. Is that right? Or are you guys in?
No. I'm staying in a hotel. I'm trying to find a new place to live.
Okay. You got David with you?
Yeah, David is over with me. Stay in the same place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Jimmy, when it comes to this past match, did you feel the dominance and how the team played up against Portland? Did you feel like, especially later in the game, that you guys were the better side?
Yeah, I think the guys do a great job. I'm convinced like we do, and we deserve more than winners. But you know how the soccer is, so we gotta be better in the end and concrete the options we have to win the games.
How do you think that happens? How do you think this team can create some goals and some better chances to score those goals?
I think we've been working good and we find a way to concrete the chances, and the group is been working really good and we're doing the job on the field. So now it's the last part, like we have to be better, but I'm pretty sure we'll find it.
What has Coach Gary told you after the match and in the film session?
It's frustrating, like you deserve the game and don't win the game and don't even have any point. But we still have to keep fighting and keep working to have some wins. And the season is long, so the objective is qualify to the playoff. And I think once we find the fields we win, the teams we can.
How did it feel just getting on the field for the first time for this Nashville team?
It's happy to have to come back to play, and a special moment to do it with this jersey. So I hope I do my job and help the team.
Thank you.
Jimmy.